Okay, so hello everybody. I will start my speech by showing you all this YouTube video related to my topic.
Would you like to make a statement? Sure. What happens now is I help you up. But not really. Are you talking about me, Pally? What's going on? I'm making a statement.
So Al Capone was an American gangster during the 1920s Prohibition era, and his crimes made history. It is important to know about Al Capone because he is historic for his actions that took place during the 1920s. I am credible to this topic because I've learned about Al Capone during my U.S. history class, and I've been searching about his trial for about a week. I've been researching. Okay, so learning about Al Capone will help us gain more knowledge about the 1920s American history and how he was such an infamous gangster. First, I will share with you some background information about his life. Second, who he was and how he was both kind yet ruthless. And finally, I will explain his conviction. So who is Al Capone? In order to understand why Al Capone became a dangerous American gangster, we must first know his life and second what caused him to join the gang. So according to the Chicago History Museum in a 2012 website, they posted an article called Chicago Historical Society, which stated Alphonsus Capone was born on January 17, 1899 in Brooklyn, New York. He was described as intelligent, however, he dropped out of school at the age of 14. Then he joined the Five Points gang, and while he was in the gang, he worked in a hotel and as the bouncer and as a bartender. And it was while working as in a hotel he got attacked, and he earned the name Scarface because of what he got. And you could see right here the scar. So Al Capone started to work for John Torrio's bootlegging business. Torrio decided to leave Al Capone in charge because he got threatened and he got shot. So Al Capone was in charge, and he proved that he was better than Torrio. So he became the boss and he earned respect. Now that we have discussed who Al Capone was, let's move on to our second point. What did he do to his enemies and the poor? So Al Capone was ruthless, but he was kind at times too. According to the journalist Jonathan Aig, in a 2010 magazine from Chicago Magazine stated, February 14, 1929, when 7 men were gunned down inside a Clark Street garage, the mastermind behind the St. Valentine's Day massacre has remained a mystery. So you should first know that on St. Valentine's Day of 1929, 7 men were from the Maroon Gang were in a warehouse, and they were murdered. And there were many suspicions that it was Al Capone. However, there wasn't any evidence that it was him. Therefore, they couldn't charge him. So, although Al Capone ordered many deaths and killed with his own hands, he showed his other side too. I would say his kind side. During the stock market crash of 1929, he opened soup kitchens and fed many poor people, and that's one of his soup kitchens, and you could see all the people lined up. So after a discussion about Al Capone's both ruthless and kind actions, let us now explore his conviction. So while it may seem Al Capone would never get punished for his illegal crimes, he was convicted and sent to prison. According to a professor from Stanford Law School, Douglas Linder stated, in the end, however, Capone would be brought to justice not for murder, extortion, or bootlegging, but for failing to pay his income tax. So Al Capone corrupted the law, however, he was sent for prison for not paying his income tax for about 5 years. It was a long process because he didn't own a bank account and he avoided signing receipts. Next, on the day of the trial, Al Capone was found guilty for tax evasion and sentenced 11 years in prison. He served his time in Alcatraz and Atlanta. Now that we know the history of Al Capone, let us review some of the things Al Capone. So Al Capone was the boss of Chicago City by corrupting the law. It is important to discuss about Al Capone because his actions made history. For example, the St. Valentine's Day to this day is unsolved, and it's important that we should all know what occurred that day. So first, I explained who Al Capone was. Second, his kind side and his ruthless side. Um, now that you have, now that you know more about Al Capone, do you think he was nice or mean? And do you think he was the murderer behind the San Valentine's Day massacre of 1929?